people in the last 64 years, we must also recognize some of our missed opportunities and mistakes of the past if we are to become one of the greatest nations on earth, as God has destined us to be. Our mistake must not be followed into the future. My administration took over leadership of our country 16 months ago at a critical juncture. The economy faced many headwinds and our physical security highly impaired. We found ourselves at a distant crossroad where we must choose between two paths: reform for progress and prosperity, or carry on the business as usual and collapse. We decided to reform our political economy and defense architecture. On the security front, I am happy to announce to you, my compatriots, that our administration is winning the war on terror and banditry. Our target is to eliminate all threats of Boko Haram, banditry, kidnapping for ransom, and the scourge of all forms of violent extremism. Within 1 year, our government has eliminated many Boko Haram and bandit commanders faster than ever. As of the last count, over 300 Boko Haram and bandit commanders have been eliminated by our gallant troops in the northeast, northwest, and some other part of the country. We have restored peace to hundreds of communities in the north, and thousands of our people have been able to return home. It is an unfinished business, I agree, which our security agencies are committed to ending as quickly as possible. As soon as we can restore peace to many communities in the troubled part of the north, our farmers can return to their farms. We expect to see a leap in food production and a downward spiral in food costs. I promise you, we shall not falter on this. Our government has been responding to the recent natural disasters, particularly the flooding in part of the country. After Vice President Kashim Shettima visited Maiduguri, I also visited to assure our people that this federal government will always stand with our people in their times of trouble. At the last meeting of the Federal Executive Council, we approved a disaster relief fund to mobilize private and public sector funds to help us respond faster to emergencies. Our government has also ordered the integrity test of our dams in the country to avert future disasters. The economy is undergoing the necessary reforms and retooling to serve us better and more sustainably. If we do not correct the physical misalignment that led to the current economic downturn, our country will face an uncertain future and the peril of unimaginable consequences. Thanks to the reforms, our country attracted foreign direct investment worth more than $30 billion in the last year. Fellow compatriots, our administration is committed to free enterprises, free entry and free exit in investment while maintaining the sanctity and efficacy of our regulatory processes. This principle guides the investment transaction in our upstream sector, where we are committed to changing the fortune positively. As such, ExxonMobil surplus divestment will receive ministerial approval in a matter of days, having been concluded by the regulator NUPRC in line with the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA. This was done in the same manner as other qualified investment approved in the sector. The move will create vibrancy and increase oil and gas production positively, impacting our economy. The more disciplined approach adopted by the central bank to monetary policy management has ensured stability and predictability in our foreign exchange market. We inherited a reserve of over 33 billion 16 months ago. Since then, we have paid back the inherited forex backlog of 7 billion. We have cleared the ways and means debt of over 30 trillion naira. We have reduced the debt service ratio from 97% to 68%. Despite all this, we have managed to keep our foreign reserve at 37 billion. We are moving ahead with our fiscal policy reforms. We stimulate our productive capacity and create more jobs and prosperity. The Federal Executive Council approved the Economic Stabilization Bill, which will now be transmitted to the National Assembly. This transformative bill will make our business environment more friendly, stimulate investment, and reduce the tax burden on businesses and workers once they are passed into law. As part of our efforts to re-engineer our political economy, we are resolute in our determination to implement the Supreme Court judgment on the financial autonomy of local governments. The central concern of our people today is the high cost of living, especially food costs. This concern is shared by many around the globe as prices and the cost of living continue to rise worldwide. My fellow Nigerians, please be assured that we are implementing many measures to reduce the cost of living at home. I commend the governors, particularly in Kebbi, Niger, Jigawa, Kwara, Nasarawa, and other Southwest governors that have embraced our agricultural production program. I urge other states to join the federal government in investing in mechanized farming. We are playing our part by supplying fertilizer and making tractors and other farm equipment available. Last week, the Federal Executive Council approved the establishment of a local assembly plant for 2,000 John Deere tractors, combine harvesters, disc riders, bottom plows, and other farm equipment. The plant has a completion time of 6 months. Our energy transition program is on course. We are expanding the adoption of the presidential initiative on compressed natural gas for mass transit with private sector players. The federal government is ready to assist the 36 states and FCT in acquiring CNG buses for cheaper public transportation. Fellow Nigerians, while we are working to stabilize the economy and secure the country, we also seek to foster national unity and build social harmony and cohesion. Our economy can only thrive when there is peace. As we work to overcome the challenges of the day, we remain mindful of next generation as we seek to galvanize their creative energy towards a better future. We lead today with the future we wish to bequeath to our children in focus. Recognizing that we cannot design a future that belongs to them without making them its architects. Considering this, I am pleased to announce the gathering of a national youth conference. This conference will be a platform to address the diverse challenges and opportunities confronting our young people, who constitute more than 60% of our population. If we provoke meaningful dialogue and empower our young people to participate actively in nation building by ensuring that their voices are heard in shaping the policies that impact their lives, we are creating a pathway for a brighter tomorrow. The 30-day conference will unite young people nationwide to collaboratively develop solutions to issues such as education, employment, innovation, security, and social justice. The modality of this conference and selection of delegates will be designed in close consultation with our young people through their representatives. Through this conference, it will be our job as leaders to ensure that their aspirations are at the heart of the conference deliberations. The government will thoroughly consider and implement the recommendations and outcomes from this forum as we remain resolute in our mission to build a more inclusive, prosperous, and united Nigeria. Our government is implementing several other youth-centric programs to give our young people an advantage in rapid changing world. We are implementing, among others, the 3 million technical program of the Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, aimed at building Nigeria's technical talent backbone. We have also enthusiastically implemented the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, which provides cheap loans to our students to pursue their tertiary educational dream. In addition, later this month, we shall launch the Renewable Hope Labor Employment and Empowerment Program, the LEAP. It is conceived as a comprehensive suite of interventions and job creation by Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment that is aimed at facilitating the creation of 2.5 million jobs directly and indirectly on an annual incremental basis, while simultaneously ensuring the welfare and safety of workers across the country. As is the tradition, the government will soon announce all the beneficiaries of our national honors for 2024. The Senate President and the Chief Justice of the Federation have been conferred with the honor of the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, GCON. The Deputy Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives have honor of Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR, while the Deputy Speaker of the House has been awarded Commander of the Order of Niger, CON. Fellow Nigerians, better days are ahead of us. The challenges of the moment must always make us believe in ourselves. We are Nigerians, resilient and tenacious. We always prevail and rise above our circumstances. I urge you to believe in our nation's promise. The road ahead may be challenging, but we will forge a path towards a brighter future with your support. Together, we will cultivate a Nigeria that reflects the aspiration of all its citizens, a nation that resonates with pride, dignity, and shared success. As agents of change, we can shape our destiny and build a brighter future by ourselves, for ourselves, and future generations. Please join us, join our administration in this journey towards a brighter future. Let us work together to build a greater Nigeria where every citizen can access opportunities and every child can grow up with hope and promise. May God continue to bless our nation and keep members of our armed forces safe. Happy Independence Anniversary, my fellow Nigerians.
That was the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCFR, President Bola Tinubu, in an address to the nation.
My name is Emilia Ojimudi, and of course I'm reading with Fubara People. Happy Independence Day, Nigerians. The headlines: Nigeria marks 64th year independence anniversary. Correspondents analyze nation's development as country marks independence. Chief Justice of Nigeria inaugurates 87 new senior advocates. Federal government inaugurates panel to probe allegations of corruption in Nigeria Correctional Service. The commentary is on Nigeria's journey of 64 years and the challenges of development.
Now the news in detail. The Speaker House of Representatives, Dr. Tajuddin Abbas, will celebrate Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary with some internally displaced persons, IDPs, within the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. Dr. Abbas is expected to spend some time with the IDPs at their camp in Abuja, during which he will extend assistance to them. The Speaker will also hold an interactive session with students of some public secondary schools in the 6 area councils of the FCT at the National Assembly.
The President of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, Comrade Joe Ajaero, has congratulated all Nigerians, especially the workers, for their sacrifice, resilience and robust spirit to contribute to nation building. In a statement, Comrade Ajaero urges the political elite to prioritize the welfare of citizens and uphold the principles of practice of democracy for the good of the masses.
The Chairman, Forum of National Youth Leaders of all political parties in Nigeria, Comrade Onyebuchichukwu, has felicitated with Nigerians and President Bola Tinubu on Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. Comrade Chukwu, who was speaking in Abuja on this year's independence celebration, said although Nigerians are going through a lot of challenges, remaining united would make us stronger and victorious. He enjoined Nigerians, particularly youth, to support President Bola Tinubu's transformative agenda of rebuilding the country for a better tomorrow.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Mari, I hear that you have been looking for somewhere to learn about election. You want to have access to electoral information? You want to know Nigeria electoral legal framework? Koda, you want to be discussing with robots on how to understand Nigeria election? I got your back. Don't worry. All you need to do is go to nigeriaelections.ng, whether on your phone or your laptop, just go to the website. When you reach there, press get started. After you press it like this, you will just have access to different information. For example, you can even ask the robot on the website a question. Let me ask, who conducts Nigeria election? Bam! You can see the answer there. What are you waiting for? Oh yeah, carry your phone or your laptop and go to nigeriaelections.ng, so that after today, you will not say that you don't know how to do election. I've told you where to get information. nigeriaelections.ng. This message is brought to you by Kimpax Development Initiative with the support of the UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office.
Hard times no dey last forever, but country wey stand kakaraka dey last. As we dey face economic challenge together, make we choose unity over the thing wey go divide us, because protest go disturb our progress. But make we join hand together to take arrange the kind country wey we want. So therefore, make we stand together, not apart, for we country. As our independence dey come, make we jollificate how far we don come as a nation. Yes o, we know say we dey face small challenge for we economy, but protest go cause begin during this time when we dey celebrate our national pride. Make we face solutions, no be the things wey go take us back. Country people, make we join hand together to take tackle the things wey dey worry us, so that we go build Nigeria. This na the time to rise together. Our Nigeria no go burn, things go better soon. This story na from the concerned citizens of Nigeria.
Country people, to stop shit for open place wey oyibo dey call open defecation and to clean our environment wella na big opportunity to turn dirty to money be that o. Open defecation e dey dangerous because e dey spoil we environment and cause us plenty sickness. But shey you know say this open defecation fit dey give us money wella? Yes, so plenty business opportunities dey for the area of sanitation, like to arrange and manage public toilets dem. You fit remove and transport things inside soakaway go treatment plant, where dem go use am make biogas, fertilizers and other better things. So make we join hands to dey fight open defecation today for Naija, to stop the waka of sickness wey dey join body with water and dirty for this renewed hope agenda of we President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, they bring on this message.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Now, one major sector that dominated President Bola Tinubu's broadcast this morning was the economy. Unlike now, the country's economy was relatively stable 64 years ago with low means of economic production. Many experts say the stability of that era was as a result of dedicated leadership and strict economic policies. Rotimi Famaki now assesses how the Nigerian economy has evolved.
With independence, followed by the discovery of oil, the Nigerian economy, like that of most other developing countries, has been experiencing severe balance of payments and disequilibrium in the last decades. The country's foreign debt, according to reports, has continued to rise, while her per capita productivity has continued to drop. The economy was prior to the oil boom dominated by the trends of fluctuations of its major export crops, notably palm oil, cane, cocoa, rubber, groundnut, and cotton. Growth rate of Nigeria's economy, as well as its investment opportunities, were based on the demand for agricultural products from agrarian states of the Federation. Discovery of oil by past political administrations seems to have been mismanaged by leaders, thereby compounding the nation's debt burdens. Despite numerous economic policies of successive political administrations, reports by the National Bureau of Statistics indicate that half of the populations of Nigeria are multidimensionally poor, cooking with dongs, wood, or charcoal rather than cleaner energy. Till date, about 63% of persons living within Nigeria, representing 133 million people, are multidimensionally poor, as attested by some residents of Ibadan, who lamented the current inflation in the country as well as its overbearing effect on them.
The hardship is too much. Everybody is suffering and we are lamenting. So we pray that God will bless Nigeria.
Things are very, very hard, tight. The workers are working like slaves, the civil servants. The salary is just like paying a slave.
Nobody is going to the farm, and it was due to insecurity everywhere.
An Ibadan-based entrepreneurship and business development consultant, Mr. Adeniyi Adetoro, said Nigeria will continue to experience persistent increase in food prices if government continue to fail in subsidizing agricultural inputs. Also speaking, an Osogbo-based agricultural expert, Dr. Adedayo Adeyinka, said federal government should review the policy of exporting raw materials, especially crude oil, saying the phenomenon will continue to impact on the nation's foreign exchange.
We should stop exporting our raw materials and importing finished products. So there should be a way whereby we'll be able to process most of our natural resources as well as agricultural produce within. Dr. Adeyinka said government should reposition the local refineries in Nigeria and implement people-centered policies to reduce current poverty ratio in Ibadan. Rotimi Famakin, Radio Nigeria.
Now, talking about Nigeria evolving, not just economically, political structures continue to evolve as well. The last 64 years as an independent nation. Worthy of note is the recent pronouncement of the Supreme Court granting financial autonomy to local government administration, a move many analysts have described as a political gain for the masses, as the local government is the closest to the people. Shola Rotimi speaks with stakeholders in Ilori, the Kwara State capital, on the significance of this developmental milestone in Nigeria's political progression.
We as citizens can do a lot, but from what I've noticed, leaders also tend to cripple the efforts that citizens are making. We have to stop being an importing country. We need to be a production country. Fix the refineries.
They can start by making employment available for the youth, then bringing out agricultural activities.
One of the ways we can make progress, there are 6 geopolitical zones, but one is having 5 states. So there is no fair representation. We are not practicing true federalism. In the USA, every state is independent, but in Nigeria, states are not allowed to control their resources.
Nigeria has not failed. It's a strong nation with people who have resilience, people who believe in its country. Wrong leaders have misled us. The masses are suffering, the poor are suffering, people are dying silently. But we know that with God on our side, Nigeria will bounce back. When a nation turns back to God and cry and ask for forgiveness, God will heal the land.
Well, still on the 64th Independence Celebration Day broadcast, the 10th President of the Nigerian Senate, who served from 2003 to 2005, and the Chairman, Board of Trustees of the main opposition, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Adolphus Wabara, spoke with my colleague, Fubara Peppel.
First and foremost, let me wish Nigerians a happy independence, as we used to say in those days. Nigeria is ours. But unfortunately, if I'm asked to talk about the past, it was better than what we're having presently. I can't believe that a 64-year-old human being has not grown. We have indeed not grown, and we're not learning our lessons. We're going one step forward and 64 steps backwards. Problem is, I may say, leadership and followership. But we pray that with this independence going forward, that we'll get there. Hopefully, Nigeria will become the Nigeria that we all expect.
How old were you actually when Nigeria got her independence, for you to have recalled some of the things you just said?
When Nigeria got independence in 1960, I was just, 12 years old, 48 plus 12. So I went to Tafawa Balewa Square at that age, carrying the flag, and saw colonial flag and what have you been pulled down and Nigerian flag coming up. Nigeria was worth dying and living for. Looking at it from hindsight now, progressively we've lost it. There was no tribalism, you wouldn't even know where your friend was from. But today, talk of Igbos, Yorubas, Hausas, and we have really deteriorated.
You rose to become the number 3 man in the country, being Senate President. What is your advice to our present crop of leaders?
They should do things the right way. Yes, Senate presidency was clearly issue of the legislature. My belief is that we make laws in this country for individuals. That's why our institutions are not strong. Once we sit down and make any law, there is always an individual in mind. So if we continue that way, our institutions will not be strong. And in a democracy, institutions are supposed to be stronger than individuals. If you want to make emperors out of institutions, the better. But if you want to make emperors out of human beings, then you will never get it. Any leadership that goes with the rule of law and the Constitution can never be wrong. My advice to up-and-coming politicians is that they must be upright. Earlier, the economy creates jobs, the better. Politicians will now be real politicians and not job seekers. We grew up in Lagos in Face Me, I Face You house, where a person living opposite your father's room and parlor, maybe he works with a UAC. For 1 week, you will not find the man there, but you see the children and the wife. Very early in the morning, you will find him making some noise. Then I remember my father was, John, I didn't see you last week. So no, I was on night duty. What does that mean? One job. The moment Nigeria is able to ensure that 3 people are on one job, shift-wise, then that is when you know the economy is growing. But today, there's no manufacturing, nothing. You don't see Papa John or John, going to work. Everybody comes home by 2 o'clock, by 12, everybody is at home.
The generation of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Sir Tafawa Balewa, and Chief Obafemi Awolowo handed to us a country that at least we could be proud of. Where did we get it wrong?
Leadership, greed, tribalism, a situation where I will be corrupt in office, then I'm asked to resign or I'm arrested or locked up. And some people will say, no, is it now that because it's the turn of an Igbo man that you are doing this to him? That is where we lost it. Tribalism set in, and I remember this thing called Igbo, Zobu, and all this things started. There was one football match sometime in the 60s. Between Igbos and Yorubas, and saying, then Zobu. That's where this thing started from. We now started seeing Igbo man, Hausa man, Yoruba man, at least that time in Lagos. I remember after that match, I can't remember who won. Then this dichotomy started, and we started having these problems of you are an Igbo man, you are a Yoruba man. And of course, it's still until today. The followership must come and put the leadership on the right path.
What are your parting words for Nigerians, the government, and the political class in general?
This ruling party and the government, they should listen to the people. People are suffering. A situation where, the minimum wage of 70,000 is not even being paid. So I begin to wonder, how do Nigerians manage? So I want the government to put on their listening ears.
That was the former Senate President Adolphus Wabara there on Nigeria's journey at 64.
Nigeria's journey at 64 and the challenges of development is our commentary today, written by Dr. Musa Abdullahi.
Today, precisely 64 years ago, Nigeria shook off the shackles and yoke of colonial subjugation when the British Union Jack was lowered and the white grain symbol of a new nation was hoisted. Indeed, 64 years ago, Nigeria began a journey into nationhood with a clear mission and direction as envisioned by the founding fathers of the new country. These historic founding fathers had envisioned a nation with great capacity and potential to steer a ship out of the murky waters of underdevelopment to a global force in socio-economic power and prosperity using their God-given resources. In the fairly long and tertious journey of 64 years, Nigeria had at every stage continued to leave behind a mixed grill of the pleasant and the unpleasant. For instance, politically, Nigeria has gone through myriads of governmental administrations since attaining independence on October 1, 1960, each with its own shares of modest contributions to the growth and or development of the land and its peoples. In all, a total of 16 different leaders have ruled Nigeria, out of which 8 were military dictatorships, while the remaining were, and still are, sheer experiments with both the parliamentary and democratic systems, including those outside conventional books of civil rule. There is no doubt that in all these years, and under the different systems of governance, the country has recorded tremendous growth and progress in so many facets of our nationhood struggles and aspirations. However, 64 years down the line, the socio-political and economic trajectory of the geographic entity expressly calls Nigeria and its peoples has been a tale of so many rivers to cross. To begin with, in the first 2 decades of post-independence, Nigeria took the global stage by storm, commanding enormous respectability among world powers and nations. The country's agricultural endowments, energetic and highly productive population, coupled with abundant mineral resources and marshaled by visionary founding fathers, had placed Nigeria on the path to steady growth and progress in all facets of development. In consequence, Nigeria became a sea measure of all eyes, attracting massive influx of foreign investments, with a number of countries coming to learn the secrets and arts of building a promising and progressive economy. In addition, the resource endowments and potential of Nigeria has sent shivers down the spines of many Western countries. Furthermore, in all these 64 long years, Nigeria has recorded great achievements and enduring accomplishments in infrastructural expansions and developments in several spheres, as well as recording impressive individual attainments by her citizens across the world. These, therefore, make the story of Nigeria not entirely a tale of lamentation and flaws. However, the tragedy of Nigeria in the last 2 decades has more often than not been a barrage of plenty motions with little or no commensurate improvements. This is largely because the country's leaderships over the years have demonstrated very low capacity and poor vision to independently propel the nation beyond the founding fathers' initiatives. With growing armies of decaying infrastructure, insecurity amidst unprecedented poverty and hunger in the land, Nigeria is without doubt faced with unprecedented challenges of proper growth and development. In consequence, the problem of system dysfunctionality has continued to be endemic in the face of decaying infrastructure. For instance, the health sector in Nigeria is generally in shambles, so much so that the best government facilities are not good enough to meet minimum global standards. In the same token, the education sector, as other sectors, has continued to endure systematic neglect and attendant failures. Surely, at 64, Nigeria has come a long way and has no doubt attained great lofty heights. But Nigerians must realize that more still needed to be done to return the nation's past glory.
That commentary on Nigeria's journey of 64 years